Hi, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking to you about Google Webmaster Tools. So, what is Google Webmaster Tools? Well, basically, they're tools that will help you to be able to see what your site looks like when Google sees it. So to start, let's log into Google Webmaster Tools by typing Google Webmaster Tools into Google, and then just go up here. And then once you click this, if you're already logged into your Gmail account, you'll pop onto this home page. Now the first thing to do is click here to add your site, type in the domain name here, and once you've done that, then click over here to verify that the site is actually yours. So you click this, and you give 4 options of how it is that you can verify it. I personally like the last one, which is add a meta tag to your site's home page. It's pretty simple. You just grab this little meta tag here, and then put it in your head tag. If you need an idea of what it looks like, you click this example, it'll say here's your head tag, and this is where you put it. Then after that, you just click this button and go back. And once you're back on this page, the first thing you're going to do is make sure to forward all the messages that you're going to get from the Google Webmaster Tools to the email address that you had actually signed up for. This is good because a lot of more people check their email address than they actually sign into Webmaster Tools. So now you're going to be able to get the information each time that you need it. Now that we've done that, we're just going to click on the site that we want to go and take a look at, and you'll be presented at the dashboard. On the dashboard, you're going to see 5 different modules. You've got search queries, crawl errors, keywords, links to your site, and sitemap. Now, if this is your first time here, the one thing that you're going to want to make sure you do first is go to the site configuration and then to the settings. And the reason why we're going here is because we're going to select a preferred domain so that we avoid duplicate content issues. If you click this button, Learn More, it's going to talk with you a little bit about the pros of doing this. When a search engine looks at a website, it can look at it and see a www with a URL, and then the exact same thing without the www, and it will see those two things as different, unique URLs. And because it does that, it's going to look at the content on each one of those pages, thinking that it's supposed to be unique, but it will say, hey, this is identical to this one over here. And then you've got duplicate content issues. So the nice thing about the Google Webmaster Tools is that it allows you to very easily have Google help you with making it so that you either have your URL show with www or without it. So if this is your first time, and it is, then go ahead and that's the first thing that you want to do. After that, we'll just go back to the dashboard. And on the dashboard, the first thing that we're going to look at is the search queries. Now, if this isn't popped up on your screen, or if somehow you've lost this module here, just simply click over here to Your Site on the Web, and then the Search Queries button right here. Once your page gets loaded, you're going to see this information. You've got a graph up here at the top, search queries, impressions, and clicks, and you can see that we've got 108 queries. That means that these are the different keywords or the different searches that are being typed in that we're showing up for. Now, that seems like a lot, and it seems pretty good, but some of these have nothing to do with what it is that you might actually be wanting to show up for. So that's the reason why we have these nice stars over here. Go through and star all the important queries that you actually care about. Once you've starred all the ones that you really want to actually take a look at, come up here to the filters, and then when it loads up, click over here, this little checkbox that says Starred Queries Only, and click Apply. Now you're going to see this graph, which is great. It shows you all the search queries that you really want to pay attention to, their total impressions, and then their total clicks. And then you've got the graph up here with impressions and clicks. At any time, you can also change, as it says up here, the date range if you want to check different things. For example, if you were doing some testing. So this one right here is a great tool to use to figure out how you're ranking, or what keywords or search queries you might be actually close in ranking to. If you drill down into some of the search query terms here, it's going to be able to give you the average position that you're showing up for, the impressions, and more information specifically on one of those keywords, which is great because maybe you log in one day and you find that your 5th query down is actually average position 11. Well, that's great. That means that you are very, very close to be a permanent resident on page 1. And so that might be a focus for you to start link building to that particular keyword, or getting some anchor text links and some backlinks for that keyword so that you can rank for that specific term. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to take a look at then is mostly all in the diagnostics section. we want to look at those crawl errors. Because if we can fix crawl errors, we're going to help out our search engines and we're going to help out our users or our visitors coming to our website. So here are some typical little errors that you're going to get. In our case, we've got some 404 not found, which isn't good. It's not good for the search engines and it's not good for our users. Let's take, for instance, that this page up here at the top, the very first one, was bookmarked by one of our users. If they bookmarked it, that means that they probably liked it and want to come back. If they click on that link and come back, though, they're going to see that it's a dead link. Now, worst case scenario is that they think that our site is down or there's nothing helpful there anymore. Now, in order to be able to fix that problem, what we're going to do is use a 301 redirect and redirect them so that they go to a more useful and helpful page. So depending upon what page is here that has a 404 error, we're going to link it to the page that has the most useful information. So the top one I know was a page that was talking mostly about content that we have on our home page. So in our case, we're going to link that first one with a 301 redirect to our home page. This way, when the search engines come, they're going to recognize and say, hey, this other page isn't here, but it takes them right to the home page. Same thing with the user. The user clicks on their bookmark, and it's going to take them right to their home page, where they're still going to be able to find information that related to that last page. So once you fix all the different crawl errors here, another great tool that you can use is Google as FetchBot. Now, FetchBot, or Fetch, is a great way to be able to see what Google looks at when it comes to your site. If you want to just check out what your home page looks like, just click Fetch, and it'll show you all the content that's on your page and all the active links. So this is good for checking your content and checking your links. It's also great to see if the search engine has been able to find some pages that you maybe recently added, and to make sure that they're going to be displaying correctly. Now, one other thing in the search diagnostics, or in the diagnostics section, that we want to show you is the HTML suggestions. The HTML suggestions are great because it has to do with duplicate content, or missing or problematic title tags, or meta descriptions. If you get all those things wrapped up, if they're looking all nice and everything, it's really going to help out the search engines. Not only that, but the search engines say, hey, you know, fixing these things, you know what, will probably even help drive traffic to your site. So we know that by fixing some of these suggestions, if we had any here, that would really help not only our users out, but it will help the search engines out too. The last thing that you'll want to check out when you come to the Google Webmaster Tools is your site performance. Your site performance all relates to how fast your pages load, which is really important in these days, especially because the search engines put a weight or a value on how fast your page actually loads. So the cool thing that Google has actually done here is that they've given you a link to get and install a plugin using Firefox. So we definitely encourage you to come here and download this, and then check some of your pages out. It'll give you specific suggestions on things that you can do to help improve the speed at which your pages load. For instance, a lot of them had to do with graphics. You know, you could take a graphic, and if the graphic was displayed really big, but then you had shrunk it down, the search engine is still trying to load that giant graphic and then squish it down. So simply by adjusting the resolution or the size of that graphic, you'll be able to save a faster load time for your users and for the search engines. Well, that about wraps things up. So thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time.